Have you ever wondered why the carnivore diet might be the best for long-term fat loss? The carnivore diet, a way of eating that has become the talk of the town, especially among fitness enthusiasts. On the surface, it's pretty straightforward. Consume animal products exclusively and keep plant-based foods at bay. But there's more to it than just meat and fish. The focus of our discussion today is understanding how this diet actually promotes fat loss. You see, it's not just about cutting out carbs and loading up on protein. The real magic happens when your body enters a state of ketosis and starts using ketones for fuel. Intriguing, isn't it? But don't worry, we won't leave you in suspense. We're here to delve into the science behind the carnivore diet and its profound impact on body composition and fat metabolism. So, are you ready to dive into the science behind this fascinating diet? To grasp why the carnivore diet aids in fat loss, first we need to understand how our body metabolizes fat. You see, our body is a rather complex machine, and fat metabolism is a multi-step process. When we consume food, our body breaks down the nutrients into smaller components. Carbohydrates are broken down into glucose, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. Now, the glucose from carbohydrates is the body's preferred source of energy. It's the quickest to break down and provides immediate fuel for our cells. However, any excess glucose that the body doesn't need right away is converted into fat and stored in our fat cells for later use. This is where insulin comes into play. Insulin is a hormone that regulates the amount of glucose in our bloodstream. When we eat, especially foods high in carbohydrates, our blood sugar levels rise and the pancreas releases insulin to shuttle the glucose into our cells. If the cells don't need the glucose, it gets stored as fat. Over time, if we're continually eating a high carbohydrate diet, our bodies become less responsive to insulin, leading to higher levels of both glucose and insulin in the blood. This condition, known as insulin resistance, can lead to weight gain and eventually type 2 diabetes. So how does fat metabolism work? When our bodies are low on glucose, they start breaking down the stored fat into a form of energy called ketones. This state is known as ketosis, and it's the basis of the carnivore and ketogenic diets. However, reaching ketosis requires a significant reduction in carb intake, which is where the carnivore diet comes in. By consuming primarily animal products, which are naturally low in carbs and high in protein and fats, we can help our bodies reach and maintain a state of ketosis. Now that we know how fat metabolism works, let's see how the carnivore diet fits into the picture. The carnivore diet essentially puts your body in a state called ketosis. But what exactly is ketosis? Ketosis is a metabolic state where your body, instead of relying on glucose for energy, shifts to using ketones. Ketones are substances that your body produces when it breaks down fat for energy, a process that occurs when your intake of carbohydrates is low. Now, you might be wondering how a carnivore diet, which is high in protein, leads to ketosis. Well, the carnivore diet is not just high in protein, it is also high in fat and extremely low in carbohydrates. Remember, carbohydrates are typically the body's primary source of energy. However, when you're on a carnivore diet, the intake of carbohydrates is drastically reduced. This forces your body to look for alternative sources of energy. And this is where fat steps in. When you consume a meal high in fats, your body doesn't have enough carbohydrates to convert into glucose for energy. So it turns to the next available source, which in this case is fat. And this is how ketosis is achieved. Now let's talk about fat burning. When your body is in a state of ketosis, it becomes incredibly efficient at burning fat for energy. This is a natural response to a lack of glucose. Your body turns to its stored fat, breaking it down into ketones for energy. And voila, you're essentially using your own fat stores to fuel your body. This is why people often experience significant fat loss when they adopt a carnivore diet. But it's not just about fat loss. Ketosis also has other health benefits. It's been linked to improved brain function, reduced inflammation, and even increased longevity. So, the carnivore diet promotes ketosis, which in turn leads to fat loss. But what are ketones and why are they so important? Ketones are the star of the show when it comes to the carnivore diet and fat loss. So what exactly are ketones? Picture them as little powerhouses of energy created within your body. They emerge on the scene when your body starts burning fat for fuel in a process known as ketosis. When you follow a carnivore diet, your carbohydrate intake is significantly reduced. This prompts your body to look for an alternative source of energy. And that's where our stars, the ketones, come into play. Your liver begins to convert fats into these little molecules of energy. This process is what we call ketosis. But why the hype around ketones? Well, ketones are not just an alternative source of energy, they are a cleaner, more efficient fuel compared to glucose. Imagine running your car on premium fuel instead of regular. That's what ketones do for your body. They help it run more efficiently, keeping you energized and focused. Now here's the crucial part. When your body is producing ketones, it's essentially in fat-burning mode. This means that instead of storing fat, your body is actively using it to produce energy. This is why many people find success with fat loss on a carnivore diet. It's not just about eating less or moving more, it's about switching your body's energy source from glucose to fat and keeping it there. But it's not just about fat loss. Ketones have other health benefits too. They have been shown to support brain health, reduce inflammation, and even have potential benefits in preventing diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer. In essence, ketones are the secret sauce to the success of the carnivore diet. By reducing carbs and increasing protein and fat intake, your body enters a state of ketosis, where it burns fat for energy and produces ketones. This not only promotes fat loss, but also boosts overall health. Therefore, by promoting the production of ketones, the carnivore diet ensures that your body is always in a fat-burning state. So, why might the carnivore diet be the best for long-term fat loss? Let's take a moment to recap what we've discussed. The carnivore diet is a unique approach to nutrition that encourages the consumption of animal products while eliminating virtually all other food groups. Its proponents argue that this diet is not only sustainable, but that it offers several health benefits, including long-term fat loss. We've also delved into the mechanics of fat metabolism. Our bodies are designed to use fat as a source of energy. When we consume fats, our bodies break them down into fatty acids and glycerol, which are then used to fuel our cells. However, when we eat more fat than our bodies can immediately use, the excess is stored away for later use. The carnivore diet, with its focus on high-fat, low-carb foods, encourages the body to enter a state of ketosis. In this state, our bodies begin to burn stored fat for energy instead of relying on carbohydrates. The byproduct of this process is ketones, tiny energy-packed molecules that our bodies can use as an alternative fuel source. The role of ketones is key in understanding the potential benefits of the carnivore diet for long-term fat loss. When our bodies are in a state of ketosis, we are essentially in a constant state of fat burning. This allows us to shed excess fat more efficiently and maintain a healthy body weight over the long term. Of course, it's important to note that the carnivore diet may not be the best choice for everyone. It's a restrictive diet that requires a high level of commitment and may not suit those with certain health conditions or dietary needs. Always consult with a healthcare professional before making any drastic changes to your diet. In essence, the carnivore diet promotes a constant state of fat burning, making it a potentially effective strategy for long-term fat loss.